Our team of caring professionals include registered nurses, licensed professional nurses, registered physical, speech, and occupational therapists, medical social workers, and certified nursing assistants. Visit our website at elitehomehealth.com. All employees are subject to detailed background and reference checks. Their team-oriented approach ensures an optimal outcome for all of our patients. For more information, call us at 888-422-3578.
We've invented cars that drive themselves and 3D printers that build prosthetic arms and legs. We've successfully transplanted hearts and lungs. Now it's time to end Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is on track to cost the nation $1.1 trillion by 2050. We can either be known for having the most expensive disease in history or for putting an end to it. Ask Congress to join the fight at alz.org/time-to-end-ALZ.
Hello and welcome to Art for the Heart on the radio and on Facebook Live and on whatever other platform you are watching this tonight. I am Melinda Pollard. I know many of you have seen me in many different positions, I guess. But tonight we're coming to talk about a really cool event that has been a community event over the years, and it is being revived for the purpose of doing a fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Association, The Longest Day. For those of you who don't know what The Longest Day, we'll be talking more about that tonight. We do have a link that you guys will be able to click on to donate throughout the night, and we'll be talking about how this culminates to an even bigger event, more than just tonight, where we talk about The Longest Day, where we talk about Art for the Heart, and also two of our guests that we have in studio tonight. But we'll get to that, okay? I know that a lot of you who know what Art for the Heart is are asking, when is it? When is the date? And where is it going to be? That part we don't actually have all ironed out. This was actually going to be a fundraiser that was going to be hosted at a senior living senior living community in Broward County, and unfortunately it's not going to be able to be hosted there, so that's why we're kind of pivoting. So stay tuned for date and for location, but it is going to be happening July 21, hopefully like the third week of July. So stay tuned for the date, stay tuned for the location. Tonight we have our guest from Artis Senior Living of Boca Raton and Linden Nursing. I'll be introducing them shortly, but I'd like for you to kind of get an idea of what Art the Heart has been over the years, okay? Sunrise, Dan Pearl, Friends of the Library actually hosted this multiple times, as well as the Art 13th Street there in Broward County also hosted a group of student ambassadors. So you'll see a lot of these videos tonight, so you can get familiar with Art for the Heart for those of you who are not already familiar with Art for the Heart. So we're going to start with the first video, which is a recap for the Art for the Heart in 2017 at Sunrise, Dan Pearl. We're not gonna do that? You don't have it? Oh no. Okay, maybe we'll come back to that one later. But I tell you what, how about we see about The Longest Day? For those of you who don't know what the Alzheimer's Association The Longest Day is, it is the longest day is the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year, and it's one of the newer fundraisers that the Alzheimer's Association has. Everybody's familiar with the walk, the Alzheimer's Walk, but the Longest Day, which is one of my favorites, is an opportunity for you to do pretty much whatever floats your boat, whatever you have a passion for. So if you want to do a lemonade stand, or if you want to do a bowling contest, or if you want to do a vocal contest or a karaoke night, you can do pretty much whatever you want. So that's why we're doing Art for the Heart, and all of the proceeds do go to the Alzheimer's Association and our fight against Alzheimer's to find a cure for this horrible disease. So we're going to play that video so you can know a little bit more about The Longest Day.
The longest day is the day with the most light, the summer solstice. On June 20th, help us stand up to the darkness of Alzheimer's by raising funds for the care, support, and research efforts of the Alzheimer's Association. It's easy. Pick any activity you enjoy and turn it into a fundraiser to fight Alzheimer's. From bowling to basketball and card games to crafts, any activity can be part of the longest day. Your family, friends, colleagues, and the Alzheimer's Association are here to support you along the way. Together, we can get closer to our ultimate goal, the first survivor of Alzheimer's. The day with the most light is the day we fight. Start now. Select your activity at alz.org/thelongestday.
The longest day! Woo!
Alrighty, so that was The Longest Day, the Alzheimer's Association's The Longest Day. So now you know a little bit more about it. We're going to go to our very first guest tonight before we show you any of the Art for the Heart videos. We are going to introduce April Stewart with Artists in Your Living of Boca Raton. Yay!
Thanks so much for having me. I'm really glad to be here with you.
I am so glad you're here. You know that Artists Boca is one of my, Artists in Your Living is one of my favoritist. Is that a word?
It is now.
It is now. My
Yes.
favoritist memory care of all times because of their incredible philosophy and their dignity that they provide for people who have any sort of memory impairment. So tell the people before I do more about Artists in Your Living of Boca Raton.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So Artists in Your Living of Boca Raton is really special because it is a standalone memory care community that is really dedicated to providing an enriching environment and fulfilling community for adults who have memory care issues. So that includes Alzheimer's, dementia, traumatic brain injury, and then also issues stemming from Parkinson's and other diseases. So Artists is a fantastic place. It's considered a long-term residential assisted living facility, but memory care is what we do, and we do it very well.
You do it the best, right?
We are hashtag Boca Best.
Yes, you are.
We are.
Guys, so for those of you who are not familiar with memory care, most people know about assisted living, I think, but memory care is a specialized resource for caregivers who have a loved one that has some sort of memory impairment. And what's so important about finding the right memory care is understanding that the brain right now is broken and we don't have a cure just yet, which is why we are hosting all of these fundraisers to try to find a cure. But meanwhile, finding a place that is going to be able to take care of your loved one and help them to continue to have that human care, to take care of the person that they've always been, the person that is still in there. They still have things that they like and dislike and all of those good things. Tell us a little bit more. How does Artists go about providing that individualized, dignified care?
I'm so glad you asked me and gave me the opportunity. What a wonderful setup. You know, Artists really is about recognizing the individual and treating the human being despite the disease. So it is recognizing all of these wonderful things that makes us the individuals that we are. And a lot of people don't know it, so I try to share it, but that Artists is not only the name of the community, but it's also an acronym, and that acronym is the philosophy, the Artist philosophy that not only goes through our entire company, but also really for how we work with and the way we provide such specialized care for our residents. So it goes letter by letter. The A is the ability to have a voice. R is respecting and maintaining relationships, and that really speaks on two sides. You know, it's respecting those who are on the professional side working in, respecting everyone's roles, but it's also more for the families as well, because so often you have the loved ones who are in this caregiver role, and it can cause so much burnout and you know, all sorts of other issues, anger, resentment, because that role has changed. And so when the resident comes to us, they're able to shift back into that relationship. So you can go back to being that loving daughter, wife, sun, whatever it might be, and let us do the caretaking. So the T stands for treasuring each person's uniqueness.
My favorite.
Yes, and so part of that is that everyone that comes into Artis, whether you're working or you're coming in as a resident, we have this beautiful thing called the partnership profile, and it tells us really who you are, your ins and outs, what you like, favorites like foods, dislikes. It tells us more about your routine, things that really make you you. And then we work very hard to integrate all of those things in. So let's say, your loved one loves waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning and having burnt toast and black coffee. That's
what we're giving them.
That's what they're going to have. So we don't interrupt that. We work around them. It's not trying to make the individual residents come in and adhere to a schedule. Rather, it's respecting who they are, treasuring them as they are, and working to fulfill that need and meeting them where they are.
And before you go to the rest of the letters, let's just sit on that T for just a little bit, because that really kind of ties into Art for the Heart, in terms of Art for the Heart being an intergenerational community art initiative that is allowing people to express themselves, to highlight how they've expressed themselves. And that's one of the things that Art for the Heart this year will be doing as well, is highlighting art done by residents from our local assisted living facilities and independent living facilities as well. And artists will be no stranger to that, because art is a huge part of the way that people treasure their uniqueness there. I know that you guys have really great art classes. It's not a preschool, so they don't do coloring, right? They do art.
It's definite art projects.
Yeah.
And we have a really fantastic life enrichment director and team as well that really facilitates all different sorts of media. So it could be acrylic and painting. It could be sculptures. It could be integrating things done, handcrafts and whatnot. So it's really just a beautiful thing. And isn't it lovely that so much of how we express ourselves, that isn't something that we lose.
Right.
Oftentimes what small things that the brain can forget, the hands and the heart remember. So it's familiar. Creation is integral to who we are as humans and also as a society. So it's such a beautiful thing to see that. And then also to see how our residents, it may not be something that they ever did younger, but as they got older and even now, there are beautiful things that they're discovering, capabilities, and interests that they're able to do more. And so, yes, art is a huge part of it.
Yeah. So I tell you what, we're going to come back to April in just a minute and continue talking about the Artist Way, the philosophy there. We're going to show you a little bit of what Art for the Heart has done over the years with one of the videos. I don't know which one is coming up, but you've got to stay tuned for one of them, or one of the videos. I'm getting some head nods over here, or head shakes. Not yet.
Or we can go back to talking about the rest of the artist philosophy.
Sure. Okay,
Yeah?
go ahead.
Okay. So
I'm really anxious to show you what Art for the Heart has been. And it's coming, okay? You have to calm me down. So I think that it's just a click of a button. I'm super simple that way.
and we will treasure that uniqueness
Thank
in
you.
Yes, we will treasure that.
So continue. Tell us more about the Artist Way.
Well, there's only two more letters.
go ahead,
so,
go for it.
So the I is for integrity, and integrity, doing the right thing all the time. So it is something that this is something that we hold very near and dear. It is who is with artists. It is something that is key and profound, because also that is also the definition of citizenship, is doing the right thing even when no one is watching.
Right,
So
right.
that integrity ties in so much on really a moral compass.
Right.
And I would think that if you are going to commit, to having your loved one being taken care of where, there are loved one now, you want to have those individuals who are acting every single day, every choice that they're making is one that's with integrity and respecting your loved one and treasuring them. So all the things about artists. And then the S is for success and recognition. And so that not only is for our residents when they are doing those wonderful participation things, we see the artwork that they're producing, and when they are doing things that they're sharing sharing with us so that we can in turn share it with the community. It's treasuring and recognizing those successes. You know, Artist Senior Living, we had a fundraiser for the longest day, and it was a silent auction that we held. Yeah. And so our artist residents got together.
Oh, yeah.
And
I actually
they
knew about this.
Yeah.
Why did I say, oh, cool? Like
yeah,
I didn't
you,
know
you
about
knew
it.
About it. You knew about this. So they did this really beautiful giant piece of art, and it
Yeah.
is called the Artist Tree or the Artist Tree. And it is such a beautiful
It was
piece of
beautiful.
artwork, and it was auctioned off. And you know, we did raise, I mean, I think it was wonderful. We did raise funds for that to go
Yeah.
towards our longest day fundraiser. And in fact, the individual who had the winning bid for it is going to come into our community later this week because she wanted to meet the residents.
Oh,
and
my
we were able
gosh.
to take the painting back and have them sign on the back so that they're a part of that.
That
so
is
it's,
so cool.
Yeah.
That literally is the philosophy all wrapped up in like a
It
little
is.
pretty bow, and art being at the helm of that. You know, and speaking to that S2 on the Artist Way, that success meaning that successful day as well. What makes a successful day for someone with dementia? And many times it includes the arts, whether that be music and our visual arts or
even,
poetry. You know, those things are a huge part of creating that successful day for someone with a memory impairment.
Absolutely, and recognizing that oftentimes making through those days with happiness and with joy, that is a success. You know, and it's just something that we always look towards, and we always try to recognize that because there are no small feats. You know,
Yeah.
we can measure everything in greatness and abundance.
Exactly. There's actually a question on Facebook from Randy Lackner Tone. She says, how do you suggest to my sister-in-law that has been taking care of my mother-in-law for years with dementia to place her in a new living environment such as Artist Senior Living?
You know what? You've just done the really the hardest part is asking the question. So oftentimes it's just building from that one question. So if it's a way that you can open the conversation, and even to the fact where it's just saying, let's just find out more. Knowledge is power. So if you look at it from that aspect, I'm sure that when the diagnosis was held or discovered, you wanted to know as much as you could about it. Your family wanted to find out all the different things, find out if there were any treatments. Just think of it as another facet for that, really. So you are just obtaining more knowledge. We are available for tours. You can either call into our community, or you can even go online to our webpage and sign up for a tour. That's not an issue whatsoever. We are more than happy to, and we are happy to answer any of those questions. So when you look at it from that aspect, it's really not so hard. If you want any other more tips or we can talk about it more, please feel free. You can always contact me.
And I would say, too, that, you know, when you're talking about a situation like this where mom has been at home and this has been her environment, her space, the important thing is finding a place like an Artist Boca. A standalone, first of all, standalone memory care is key to a really good transition because you want to ensure that everybody's focus is on ensuring that someone with memory impairment is being cared for and not their attention split between assisted living and memory care. That's my personal opinion.
And that's a really great way to put it. So not sorry to interrupt
Yeah,
you, but
yeah.
that's a really fantastic way to put it because it's not that it's anything lesser or whatnot, but anytime your attention is divided, that something is going to get shortchanged. So when you do have just that focus that is just on the standalone memory care, you know that it's 100%. So, and also all our care partners do go through dementia training as well. So it is a specialized care.
Right.
There is special training that goes with that. So it is important. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for pointing
No,
that
of
out. That's a
course, of
really
course.
good point.
And then on top of that, because Artists is philosophy lends to that individualized approach to what is going to be the best thing for mom and what did she do at home. Now, I know, Randy, you also asked, do you offer a day of artists rather than a tour? And you guys do. You have respite, right?
We do provide respite care, and so that is something where it can be as little as a week, and then you can just move up from there. And so a lot of times there are those times where caregivers that aren't quite ready, but they want to see. Well, not only that, but consider that Artis is not like a CCRC where it's a buy-in or there's a long-term commitment. So understand that we can take it 30 days at a time also if that's something, that needs to happen. In the past we did have families where they would come in and then the caregiver would get that little bit of respite and feel like, oh, okay, I can do it.
Yeah.
And then mom or dad would come home, and within a week or two, it would be like, oh, now I remember why this was so hard. Oh, now I remember.
Right.
And so,
well, there's also the key, the piece where people think that mom or dad have been fixed. Right?
Yes.
And so then they are, okay, they're better now, and come home and not recognizing that it's actually the environment that's created there at Artis that provides for that successful living.
Absolutely. And it is those enriching, engaging activities where that attention is on them so that they can thrive. Whereas in the home, there's so many other things that pull to our attention that oftentimes the loved one is relegated to sitting on a couch in front of a television, and that's not enriching or engaging. That's you're waiting for the day to get over.
And to Randy's question as well, she said, do you provide a lecture to family caregivers?
So we do provide different monthly caregiver functions. So far as a lecture, we do have one coming up. We have one on the 23rd that will go on the calendar, but then we do have others coming up where we do call in professional speakers for those caregivers. But we also work with other communities for their caregiver support groups. So there are 2 really great ones in person, and then there's another one via Zoom. So we do work with iMatter Adult Dayscape. They have this really fantastic Andrea Brennan. She does this. She has amazing day center, and she has a caregiver support group that is the first and third Tuesday. And that does start at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we also have Tino with Comfort Care, who does have the first and third Thursday a caregiver support group via Zoom. So we do provide those. So it's not quite a lecture, but is definitely support groups.
Okay.
And you can always go onto the Artis Facebook page or web page and see our calendar of events to see what is being offered. And those are updated. So new things are being added to those calendars.
And what would be the best way for someone to reach you by phone? What's the best number? I did put a phone number in the chat, but if you have another one, let me know.
So I want to say that I'm going to give the community number so you can call in because it's not just me. I'm only half of the team.
Yes.
So Ayana Cunningham is our director of marketing, and she is phenomenal. And so you can call into the community and speak with Ayana or I, and the number is 561-989-9945.
Awesome. That is the number that is in the chat. So, guys, feel free to reach out to April or Ayana there at Artis Senior Living of Boca Raton with any questions, with connections for any of those caregiver events / lectures, the support groups that she mentioned, and, of course, any tour or respite stay that you'd like to schedule. You want to contact April or Ayana at that number, that 561-989-9945.
Oh, you remember that.
Oh, I'm weird. I remember numbers but I don't remember what I'm doing tomorrow.
At least you're honest.
Yes. So, Okay, so we're going to try to show you some Art for the Heart videos. And I apologize in advance if I've talked these up to the point where you're like, what am I watching? Especially if you're on the radio, you're probably going to hear music and you won't be able to experience the video recaps of the Art for the Heart events that have happened over the last few years. But stay patient because I'll talk you through it as well. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to show you, hopefully, either it'll be 2017, 2018, or 2018 for perfect. So we're going to show you Art for the Heart from 2018 and a little bit more, hopefully, about the longest day, maybe as well too. And then we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, I hope you finally saw that video from 2018. If you're listening on the radio, it was a recap for Art for the Heart that was 2018 at Sunrise Dan Pearl Library. I actually brought a little rock that I bought from, oh no, what was the artist's name? Go back and watch the video. But it was a painted rock, and I can't remember the artist's name, but these are some of the things that we were able to showcase there. The way that Art for the Heart normally works, guys, is the attendees come in, they have their raffle ticket that normally they get just for coming to the event, and they use that raffle ticket to vote for their favorite artist. And that raffle ticket also enters them into an actual raffle as well, too. As the setup sounds, the person, the artist with the most raffle tickets obviously is winning. You have a first, second, and third place. Also, attendees can purchase additional raffle tickets to be able to vote for their favorite artist. There's also a future artist station you may have seen in the video if you're watching the video that allows people to create their own art with canvas and acrylic, sometimes clay and other little fun things. And also we have community vendors from around the Broward County, the South Florida area, and you saw that with Lisa Spencer with iPlacement, was a vendor from 2018, and then a couple of others as well. And then we also love all of the arts, so we normally have some sort of vocal artist, some sort of musical artist, some open mic, some spoken word, also trivia on art that is played through Kahoot, and you have winners there. It's a really cool not a full day, a couple of hours of a lot of fun for the community. And this year, 2021, will be a fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Association's The Longest Day. So again, once we have a set location and a final date, we will be letting you know. We'll be creating the Facebook event. We'll be sending it out. If you are watching this link because you got an email or you got a text message or you got a messenger or you saw it on Facebook, you'll get updates the same way. So stay tuned for that. We'll have those to you shortly. And we want to thank all of the past artists that have been a part of Art for the Heart 2017, 2018, and also our student ambassadors that did a really cool event as well too back in 2017. So, alrighty, enough of that. I don't know if you guys can see, I'm actually wearing an Art for the Heart t-shirt, and then I also have some other cool jewelry and stuff that was made by some other artists. So before we continue on about Art for the Heart, I would like to introduce our second guest for tonight, which is Odette Potter with Linden Nursing, as well as Linden, is it Concierge as well? Linden Concierge Care as well. So we've got two prongs to Linden, and we'll talk about both of those tonight. How are you, Odette? Thank you so much for coming. Oh, thank you. I had a little bit of Chick-fil-A before I came. I actually ate tonight. So tell us, I know that Linden, obviously it's home care. Tell us a little bit more about it, and then we'll talk a little bit about how that plays into Alzheimer's dementia as well.
Absolutely. So Linden Nursing, like you say, there are two different brands. The concierge care and then the registry, which is Linden Nursing Service. So we'll touch on Linden Nursing Service first because that's the registry. That's the first company that was opened, and we're in our 11th year. We first opened in the Palm Beaches, so we're licensed for all of the Palm Beaches. We go all the way up to the Treasure Coast, and then we're licensed for all of Broward.
Okay.
And as that's just the registry brand. When it comes to the concierge care, we're an agency, so we're not a registry there. And that's a totally different brand. It's like a premium level of care for home care. So
Okay.
you are looking at, managing everything from your personal care to your leisure care. You need to fly somewhere, you don't feel good, you don't want to go to an appointment outside to get your hair done. We will make the appointment for you, have that person come in to do whatever your hair or your nails, even your grooming for your pets.
Okay.
Under the regular registry, that's not a part of it, but we meet you exactly where you are from A to Z. Last week I was approached by someone that said we have a resident in a nursing home that needs to go from A to B, from here all the way to New York, and they had no one to go with them. They needed an aide. If you're in the Palm Beach County and you under our services, we will send a licensed registered nurse or to go out, or an LPN, and do an assessment on you. So they'll do a plan of care and see what are your needs, what is in your home that needs to be adjusted. They will make suggestions and they will create that. They'll sit with you and work that out. And if that's the case, we're going another state with you to, whether it's a bar mitzvah or a wedding or a funeral, whatever, we can do that. We're not limited to whatever. There are people, especially now, they want to entertain, but they don't want to go outside, and they want to get their friends in and calling everyone. We will make sure that they're contacted, if invitations need to be sent out. So you go a little bit above the norm. Like I say, it's premium home care.
It's concierge.
It's concierge.
Which
and
does
you know what
more
that
than
is.
just the home care side. It's dealing with
Absolutely.
the not just your activities of daily living, but also those other tertiary things that are part
Absolutely.
of your living that are not necessarily
Comes
your
under
bathing,
your
eating,
right.
dressing, all of those
Right.
things, but a little bit more. Now, I know that being in home care, obviously, you have residents, or not residents, you have clients who have some sort of memory impairment. Speak to why it would be important for someone who's deciding to stay at home, especially a caregiver, who's deciding to keep mom or dad at home and not have them in a memory care community like Artis, but they want them to be at home. Speak to how you're able to assist with that and why it would be important to ensure they call someone like Linden.
Well, so much can go wrong if you have a loved one that has dementia or Alzheimer's, even the earlier stage. Someone will say, mom's just getting a little bit forgetful. The idea of calling a company like ours is that the caregivers are trained and they're in service. And when you have someone at home that's becoming forgetful, well, they could turn that stove on and they forget that they left it on. They went and took a nap. That's
Right.
so dangerous on every level.
Yeah.
Or they can elope. They can open that door and wander off, and people have died.
Yeah.
People have ended up in the hospital after that. They're fallen, and so much can go wrong.
Right.
having a caregiver in there to help with the activities of daily living. When we get a client in the first place, we don't just send a caregiver there. That's the first thing. We get a call like this evening that this client has memory issues and they think they're unsafe to be at home. We're not just going to just send someone. We want to hear, tell me a little bit about Dad. How old is he? When did this start? You know, give us a background. What it is that he did before now.
Right.
You know, what are the things that would trigger him? You know, what are the things that he liked doing?
Right.
So you want to they're in their home, so you want to give them that sense of normal. This is would have been your routine because they're going to remember certain triggers. If you had someone that loved to crochet or they love to, their kids are people that are nurturers, you want to trigger that. If they like cards. So you're not just going there for the bathing and the dressing, but you have to target that mental area. You got to stimulate them that way.
Right.
So that's how we do that, and then we create the idea of how are we going to plan and pick the right caregiver for this client.
Right.
Because you want to get the right size person if he's tall or short or a little bit heavier or something, but you want to make sure that that caregiver is trained and is able to deal with that. Sometimes their aggressiveness. Over the weekend we had that. Again, it's the approach that happens. If they're high, come down low. Walk away if you need to. So having someone there takes the burden off that loved one,
Right.
but having a trained person understanding the diagnosis, understanding the triggers, and how to keep that person calm and safe, that is such a relief. And that's where we come in. We are on call 7 days per week, 24/7, and that's literal. If anybody knows me, this phone doesn't go anywhere. It goes everywhere. But our office, 561 434 5005.
Repeat that one more time.
561 434
Okay.
5005.
5005. Okay.
That's our number. Whether you're in Broward or Palm Beach, if you call that, someone will answer. You will not get an answering service.
Okay.
You will get someone that works directly in the office. And that helps because if you're a family member and you're having an issue, you get a phone call. You were referred to me. I don't want them to Baker-Act my mom. Can you help me? She threatened to hurt herself because she's depressed. Just lost my dad. We understand that. That is where our job is to step in. The empathy of, oh my God, you're dealing with the loss of your spouse for 60 years that you've been married. And now you're just feeling like you'd rather not live because that's your lifetime partner you just lost.
Right.
We have to have that mindset of put ourselves in that space. How would we react? How would we feel? And so now we have to find that caregiver who understands what they're stepping into. It's not just putting a body. It's someone to understand where this client is coming from psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, not just physically.
Right.
And then we move forward.
Right. So now, when I know that some people are not familiar with, a lot of times they think home care, and they assume that that's only in their home. But I know that there are many families who, after they've moved their loved one to, let's say, an Artist Boca, they decide that they still want mom or dad, sister, husband, wife, to still have that little bit of extra, that kind of almost like a security blanket of sorts.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about that. What does that look like when you're in a community?
A little one-on-one is good. A lot of times, family members will move their parents in, or like you say, brother or sister or whatnot.
Right.
I always suggest send someone with them for a couple of days just to get them acclimated to the community,
right.
have them meet someone, just ease them into it, because it's easier. It's like taking your kid to school for the first day. Well,
Right.
the parents always cry.
Right. I did.
Right? But it's not just dropping them off. We always stood by the door and watched for a long time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have to say, Mom, go home.
Right. Or how
So-
about those that now have cameras? You can see your child at the preschool.
There you go.
Yeah. So much for cutting
like
the
a
string.
stalker mom kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
So at least when you have that caregiver, he or she can be your eyes. If there's something that needs to be adjusted, even in the room, they just moved into a new space. We always suggest bring the stuff that will remind them of their home and their
Right.
family and their past.
Right.
So having that caregiver to ease them in, or if they're just not having a good night, in an assisted living, they do the best they can, but sometimes that resident just needs that person to hold on to.
Right.
And that's where we bridge that gap in that moment. Yes, they're doing the ADLs and the meals and the entertainment,
Right.
but having someone to sit with you and talk with you or read to you or watch a movie. And my clients love politics and they love
Right.
sports, even if they're not remembering everything, these are the things that have excited them.
Right.
So if they have someone to relate to, even just 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
it helps. The stimulation and the interaction and the additional help just to go to the bathroom makes a total difference.
Right. And I just want to say, guys, for any of you that saw me looking down at my phone, I promise you I'm not texting while I'm manning the chat to make sure you have the phone numbers down there. So you see the number for Linden Nursing and Concierge. And that number again is 561-434-5005. And before we let Odette not go, because she's still going to be back once we come back, but I wanted just to talk about cost, because that's the question no one wants to talk about. We know that home care, private duty home care, is not something that is covered by your health insurance.
Right.
However, long-term care, yeah?
Absolutely. So if someone has long-term care, let's say whichever one, there's such a long list, we will, with the permission of the family or the client, they will give the insurance company permission to speak to us, if you're the POA or the direct client.
Okay.
And then we do the verification of benefits.
Okay.
There are times when they don't understand what they purchased because they bought it 40 years ago.
Right.
We walk them through it. We like to have them stay on the phone so they can hear it also. So when we ask the question, they understand what's going on. What is the elimination period? And people say, what is an elimination period? That is just a period where the insurance company will say for 7 days or even 90 days, you, the client, has to pay privately out of your
Right,
pocket.
right.
For those period, we will submit the bills, the receipts, to the insurance company with the timesheets showing that the client did pay us for the elimination period. Then the insurance will kick in automatically and start paying after
Right.
that. And those are hard because you
Yeah.
paid for that, but
That is one of those things that we have to educate ourselves on so that we are prepared. That is probably the biggest part of all of healthcare, period. And even more senior healthcare is not being educated about what this looks like. And then the event happens, and now you have to, and now you don't know, and now you're having to catch up. So please, please, please ensure that you, one, get a long-term care policy. This is going to be really important so that you're able to finance these things like memory care, like home care, as well as be knowledgeable about the monies that you still will have to pay out of pocket outside of those long-term care policies. So, Odette, thank you so much for being on today. I actually want you to stay right there. When we come back, actually, we will have April Stewart with artist Boca back on camera. We'll talk more about Art for the Heart. Until that time, do we have another video for Art? Also, and another video for the, and another video for Art for the Heart. No, there wasn't just one video. There were two, at least two.
breathe. Don't cry.
Guys, I really wanted you to see all the recap from all the other. Tell you what, I'm going to post them to the Art for the Heart page, okay? So that is www.facebook.com/Art for the Heart. It's pretty simple. Art for the Heart, Facebook, Art for the Heart. I'm going to post all of the recap videos from all of the previous Art for the Heart events so that you can see them there, okay? Meanwhile, we are going to see a little bit more about The Longest Day, if we haven't already seen that just yet. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more to both April and Odette, and we'll talk more about Art for the Heart and how we can get you involved.
The longest day is the day with the most light, the summer solstice. On June 20th, help us stand up to the darkness of Alzheimer's by raising funds for the care, support, and research efforts of the Alzheimer's Association. It's easy. Pick any activity you enjoy and turn it into a fundraiser to fight Alzheimer's. From bowling to basketball and card games to crafts, any activity can be part of the longest day. Your family, friends, colleagues, and the Alzheimer's Association are here to support you along the way. Together, we can get closer to our ultimate goal, the first survivor of Alzheimer's. The day with the most light is the day we fight. Start now. Select your activity at alz.org/the longest day.
The longest day! Woo!
We've invented cars that drive themselves and 3D printers that build prosthetic arms and legs. We've successfully transplanted hearts and lungs. Now it's time to end Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is on track to cost the nation $1.1 trillion by 2050. We can either be known for having the most expensive disease in history or for putting an end to it. Ask Congress to join the fight at alz.org/time-to-end-ALZ.
Thanks for coming back. Don't forget to visit the Art for the Heart Facebook page. If you don't already like it, go like it. It's www.facebook.com/Art for the Heart. There you're going to see all of the catch-up videos of all of the past Art for the Heart events, as well as information on how you can be involved this year. So for those of you maybe who have joined late, we did show a recap from 2018 from Art for the Heart that was hosted at Sunrise Dan Pearl Library. I brought one of the rocks that I bought. I think her name was Janet Geeson. I think that's her name. At any rate, I bought this rock from her, and I love it. I keep it on my desk. It's a paperweight for me. But for all of the artists that are watching tonight, if you have already emailed your interest in being an artist for Art for the Heart, you will be getting a registration form soon, as well as any volunteers or sponsors as well. So one of the things that we do need sponsors for this is there are prizes that the artists win when people vote for them there at the event. So we need prizes, anything. If you got some scratch-off tickets, whatever you want to be a part of this event, a sponsor for the Art for the Heart doesn't have to be a lot of money. It just needs to be a really cute prize that we can give to the artists when they win, as well as people that win things like our trivia that we play there. And if you want to be a sponsor to maybe help out with the art supplies for the Future Artist Station, there's a lot of opportunities to get involved. So make sure you go and like the Art for the Heart Facebook page so that you can stay involved. And you can also message me on Facebook. You can call me, you can email me. I'll have that information on there as well to figure out how you can become part. Again, the date and the location are still TBA, to be announced. So do not forget to keep checking. We will ensure that you get the information as soon as we have a date and a location finalized. But it is happening July 2021. Alrighty, we're going to bring back in our guests from tonight, Odette Potter and April Stewart. Woo!
Hello.
Thanks for coming back on, guys. So again, April Stewart is with Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton, and Odette Potter is with Linden Nursing and
Linden Concierge
tell people
Care.
into the mic there.
Linden Concierge Care.
Linden Concierge Care. So we talked a little bit about that, but this, guys, is a more hands-on and even more focused type of home care that is helping you with even more than just those activities of daily living. So make sure you reach out to Linden Concierge if you know someone or you yourself are helping take care of a loved one that needs a little bit more. Maybe they need someone that's what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody that's maybe going on a trip with you, someone that's helping you book that trip.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It gets confusing sometimes and overwhelming for seniors to do a lot of things. And
Right.
I don't want to be bothered with certain things, but if you have a caregiver that is able to go and do that research for you and plan that trip for you, or even a luncheon for you and your friends on the weekend and set everything up, or even one of the things that's beautiful about the Linden Concierge Care is that the caregivers are vetted, and then they're trained additionally
Right.
based on our
I heard
standards.
that,
So
yeah.
they mannerism, etiquette, they're all about that. How to set the table appropriately, because we don't really get it right half the time.
Right.
There's certain things, and you want to have that. If this is who you are, and you're a certain person, you want to have someone that understands your culture, your religion, what it is that you do, and how
Right.
you carry yourself and your expectation, and meet you right there.
Right.
That's what we do.
That is
And the
really cool.
number for Linden Concierge.
Oh, it's a
I gave
different
you
number.
The Linden nursing number.
Oh, excusez-moi.
561
Okay.
408 2598.
Repeat that one more time.
561
Uh-huh.
408
408
2598. And that's Linden Concierge Care.
2598. Alrighty. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm typing it in. I'm not very ambidextrous. Linden Concierge Care. All right. For all of you guys who are joining on the radio, thank you so much for dialing in. And we want to ensure that you also stay connected. So you may not be on Facebook, and that's okay. But you can email me at twillypollard@gmail.com. I typed that into the Facebook chat, but that won't help you because you're on the radio. So it's T as in Tom, WILLIE, like T Willie, Twilly Pollard, POLLARD @gmail.com. twillypollard@gmail.com if you'd like to have more information about Art for the Heart, especially once we have that date and that location finalized. Speaking of location, this is not in stone, but we will let you know, but it is possible that it may be hosted. I don't know if Noelle Fagans is watching or listening right now, so don't be alarmed, Noelle. Noelle is the executive director there at Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton at #BocaBest. But we may be hosting it at Artist Boca, potentially. We will see.
Anything is possible. So I'm a firm believer also that you can speak things into existence.
Yes, I believe that's
so,
true.
let's see. So if we can work out the kinks, if we can,
Logistics.
make it safe, make
Yeah.
it appropriate.
Exactly.
If there is a way that we can do it, then we will do our best.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we also have another, I'm saying we, it's just me. When I say we, I'm just talking about me. I'm multiple people apparently. There is a tentative, say that 3 times fast, date of July 16th. It's a Friday. Okay, again, I'm giving you tentative location and tentative date so that you can mark your calendars and have some sort of bearings of when Art for the Heart 2021 will be. And it will be potentially at Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton on July 16th at some time. Don't you love how we came on to announce something and we're like, we have no details whatsoever, but stay tuned. But we really wanted to use it as an opportunity to be able to say hey to April and to Odette and to highlight Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton and Linden Nursing and Linden Concierge Care. And ladies, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having us. And while we're doing announcements for things, that I briefly mentioned something on the 23rd of this month.
Okay.
It is a CE care professional event
Oh, cool.
for nurses. Vitas Healthcare is going to be hosting a Zoom class on ethical challenges for end-of-life care and dementia patients. So there is continuing education credits available for that.
Great.
And you will be able to go onto our Facebook page or the artist webpage soon
Right.
to sign up for that. So
Okay.
if you wanted to key in,
It's catching.
if you wanted to key in, I'm waiting on the flyer finalization. So, but if you want to key in, if you want to put it into the chat that you want an email sent out to you or you want to register, please do so, and I will make sure that you are registered for that.
Awesome. All right, guys, we are winding down. I just want to recap a couple of things. Not only did we have our incredible guest, Odette Potter, with Linden Nursing and Linden Concierge Care, and Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton, represented by one April Stewart.
#BocaBest.
#BocaBest.
Yes.
But of course, tonight was all about Art for the Heart, and we are so sorry if you didn't get a chance to see those recaps from those previous Art for the Heart events, but no worries. You are able to visit the www.facebook.com/artfortheheart Did I say that? Yep, Art for the Heart. And there you will be able to find replays from the past events, as well as links on how to donate, as well as confirmed dates and location for Art for the Heart 2021. Again, a tentative location, Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton, and a tentative date, July 16th. We don't have a tentative time yet. All right, little ladies, did you want to add anything tonight? It's been a lot of fun.
It's just been really lovely. So thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you so much for being such a gracious host. And I couldn't have asked for better company. It's been wonderful being part of this. Thank you.
so much.
Looking forward to the success of Art
for the Heart.
Art for the Heart, and just continuing, positive partnerships the artist's way.
Thank you so much, guys. Again, Art for the Heart is an intergenerational community art initiative, meaning that we're looking to engage everyone in the community. Obviously, these ladies represent senior living, but we are here for everyone because everybody has a brain, right? And everybody wants to be able to protect it and find a cure to end Alzheimer's. That's what we're here for. Again, tentative date, July 16th. Tentative location, Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton, www.facebook.com/Art for the Heart. Guys, have a great night and thank you for joining us.
We've invented cars that drive themselves and 3D printers that build prosthetic arms and legs. We've successfully transplanted hearts and lungs. Now it's time to end Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is on track to cost the nation $1.1 trillion by 2050. We can either be known for having the most expensive disease in history or for putting an end to it. Ask Congress to join the fight at alz.org/time-to-end-ALZ.
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of